good morning. We are going to be looking at cleaning your blood today. Okay, I'm like doing a review video, yeah? All right, so cleaning your blood. This is on page 302 to 305. Okay, in your science, yeah? Good morning. Okay, so here we go. So in your body, you have waste. Okay, remember we talked about this when you guys were in 3rd grade? That's why you burp and fart, is your body getting rid of the waste. Okay, so some of the waste products you have in your body is carbon dioxide. So I'm going to do the, I don't even know what that's called. But this is carbon dioxide. I can't think of what it's called. I just had it and it fell on my head. Yeah. So periodic table. Anyway, the symbol. I can't think of the word it's called. Anyway, sorry. So this is carbon dioxide, CO2. That's the molecules that make up carbon dioxide. Carbon and oxygen, 2 molecules of oxygen. So it's the symbol for it, okay? So carbon dioxide is a big part of waste that you have in your system, along with, I'm using my notes, okay? Along with other unwanted materials. And if that would just stay in your cells and stay in your body, 1, your cells would not be able to work the way they're supposed to. 2, too much of a buildup would make you sick. And 3, that sickness could actually lead to death if your body could not dispose of the waste. So guess what? God knew that. So he created in you a new way, well, not a new way, but a way of getting rid of the waste in your body. Okay, so he put certain organs in your body that would clean your blood of these waste products. Okay? All right, so I'm catching up with my notes, I'm sorry. So one of those things are, so the blood, which is the circulatory system, CS is how I abbreviate circulatory system, to remove the things out of your blood, out of your body, because your blood runs through your whole entire body. So as it's going through, it's picking up all of these waste products and bringing them to where they need to be. So we have skin, lungs, and kidneys all are used to remove the waste from your body. I thought it was interesting, skin. I never thought about it, but then as I was reading about it, I'm like, oh, well, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so we're going to look at each one of these things separately, okay, and discuss how they remove the waste from your body. I'm sorry, I can't spell perspiration and talk at the same time because it's a big word. It's not a word that is really in my brain all the time, you know, like is, was, are, the blood, waste. Those I can talk and do, so I'm sorry. All right, so skin. So waste is removed through your skin. So how that happens is that you have a mixture of waste that comes to the surface, and as you perspire, that waste is released. One of the things that you kind of need to replenish is salts, okay? So that's why people have what's called Gatorade. I don't know if you know the history of Gatorade. So Gatorade was invented by the football team in Florida, the Gators, Florida State, and they saw that water wasn't enough for the football team to get all their energy and stuff back. And so they developed Gatorade, which has tons of salt and tons of sugar in it. And that was developed in order to rejuvenate the salts that were lost. But not all salt being lost is bad. because again, it's a waste product as well. So, as you perspire, that if the perspiration or sweat, which you might know it better talked about, evaporates, and with it, some of your waste products also evaporate. Okay, it's kind of cool. So it goes out of your blood and into your sweat glands, and then it goes toward the surface of your skin in tubes, and then it comes out through your pores. Okay, so sometimes people who smoke a lot, you can actually, and my aunt did, and does, you can actually smell the cigarette smell when they perspire, because cigarettes produce a lot of waste products in your system. And so she would literally, I always called it sweating cigarettes. She would sweat and smell like cigarettes. Okay, so I never knew why until I read this. Well, of course, because the body is getting rid of it through her skin. So I thought that was super interesting. All right, the next organ that God uses, because remember, skin is an organ. Skin is the biggest organ in your whole body. Okay, it covers the outside and things on the inside. Okay, so the next organ that gets rid of waste in your body are your lungs. Your lungs get rid of the CO2. Okay. All right, so what happens is you inhale and you bring in oxygen, a whole bunch of other gases, and carbon dioxide is one of those. Okay. Your lungs grab the oxygen it needs and for your blood, puts it in your bloodstream, yeah. And when you exhale, yes, those other gases you don't need come out. So CO2 is one of those gases that come out of your body that you do not need. Also, remember, as the blood vessels, yeah, go back to your lungs, it dumps all the carbon dioxide. Remember, all your red blood cells dump all the carbon dioxide, pick up all the oxygen. And so when they're dumping all that carbon dioxide and you're breathing out the carbon dioxide from like every place in your body, okay? Because the red blood cells, remember we talked about little hemoglobin guys, and they pick up oxygen, they drop off oxygen, they pick up carbon dioxide, but when they get to your lungs, they just dump all of the carbon dioxide and pick up all oxygen and go back through your body again. Remember, they're very busy little people. They're not people, you know what I mean. I'm just being silly with the people piece. All right, so that is how our lungs do. Let me make sure I didn't forget anything. Okay, very good. Next, kidneys. Okay, so kidneys actually are like blood scrubbers. Okay, so the kidneys, you have two kidneys, and they're back here. They sit right here. So if you find your spine, you have one on this side, one on this side. Okay, you can live with one kidney. God gave you two. Okay, I had a person who was in my class in high school, and she only had one kidney. She was only born with one kidney. Okay, so there were certain things she couldn't do, not a lot of things, but like we were cheerleaders together, and so she could never be on the bottom of the pyramid. I always had to be on the bottom, because even though she was bigger than me, because she only had one kidney, if that kidney got damaged, then she would have none, and then that would be a problem, because you have to have a kidney to clean your blood. If you don't have a kidney to clean your blood, then all of those waste products, which we talked about up here, accumulate in your blood, and eventually, if you don't get your blood clean, you will die. So they have dialysis, they have transplants, all those kinds of things, but if you can avoid that, that would be better. So that's what she was doing, avoiding that, okay? All right, let's see. They're about the size of your fist, kind of like your heart, yeah? So your heart's the size of your fist and your kidneys are the size of your fist. And I said their most important job is they clean blood. They're blood scrubbers, okay? And they also get rid of waste and excess water in your body, okay? Do you know you could have too much blood in your body? Too much blood, I'm sorry. Too much water in your body. So this is how they work. So the blood flows into the kidneys from the renal artery, okay? So if you get, so my mom died of cancer in her kidneys, so it's called renal cell carcinoma, because renal is anything to do with the kidneys because of the renal artery that goes there, all right? Does that make sense? Okay, so inside of each of the kidneys, and if you look in your book, you'll see a blown up picture of this. It's pretty cool. There are tiny filters called nephrons. Each of your kidneys has over 1 million nephrons, and those nephrons are used to clean your blood. They remove waste products, you know, the carbon dioxide and the, there's other stuff too that is waste products that your cells are all dumping off, okay? So once blood is clean, it flows back out of the kidney and back to your heart, okay? Waste combines with water and urine, and then it's sent to the bladder, okay? And then you go and you use the bathroom, okay? That's how that works, to get the waste out of your body. So if you stop using the bathroom, that can be a problem for your body and how the system works. So let's review that. Tiny filters, so the blood goes into the kidneys. The tiny filters, nephrons, pull them out. Each kidney has over 1 million nephrons. And then once the blood is cleaned, they send the waste to the bladder, and they send the clean blood to the heart, in a nutshell. Does that make sense? All right, so guess who else is involved? The bladder. Okay. So the bladder, the waste comes from and goes to the bladder. Okay. From the kidneys, it's stored there until you have to go to the bathroom. Okay. So all through the day, you probably go to the bathroom numerous times. That's what's happening, is the blood is being cleaned. The kidneys send it to the bladder to hang out, and then send the clean blood back to the heart until your bladder gets filled up. Your bladder is kind of like a sack, and as the urine goes in it, it expands, and then until you go to the bathroom, and then it contracts back down. Okay, on a healthy person, this is how it goes. Okay, does that make sense? All right. So kidneys filter out waste from the bloodstream. They regulate, this cool thing I thought is they regulate the volume of fluid that you have in your body. So you need fluid in your body to make things work, right? I mean, your blood is fluid. It has plasma. Plasma is mostly water. And so you have to have some, but you can't have too much. Otherwise, it's called drowning in your tissues. Your tissues start drowning. So the kidneys will regulate the fluids and other materials in your bodies. The kidneys receive it's funny, I make abbreviations when I read it and then I forget what they were. Okay. The kidneys actually receive messages from your brain telling them to hold back the water. Okay. That means you're not drinking enough. So if you're not going to the bathroom enough, it's because you're not drinking enough and you're dehydrated. And God didn't want your body to be dehydrated because that can cause major problems too. So God created this system where the kidneys talk to the brain and say, hey, wait, they're not taking in enough water. Don't let it go. And they kind of hold on to the water. Okay, so that's why you need to make sure you're drinking enough so that your whole cleaning system can work properly and you don't have a buildup of yuckness in your body. Okay, this is how we can keep our body healthy for as God wants us to. All right. So when the body's water level is low, the kidneys make a hormone that direct the body to produce red blood cells. Pretty cool, yeah? All right, so this whole system has a name. It's called the excretory system. So I want to make sure I spell it right. You guys know spelling is not my strong suit. I love spell check on Google. It helps me so much. Okay, so the excretory system, excrement means waste, in case you're wondering. So excretory obviously means a waste ridding system, okay? So yeah, excrement is another word for poopy, okay? Okay, so excretory system is a system that gets rid of the waste in your body, which we've talked about the things, okay? So the circulatory system removes waste produced in your body, and the excretory system includes the kidneys, the bladder, and other associated structures, is what it said. Okay, I know the liver cleans your blood too. Okay, and if you abuse alcohol, my grandfather did, then your liver works too hard and you get something called liver cirrhosis, or cirrhosis of the liver actually, where it starts hardening parts of it and then it doesn't function anymore and you can die. Okay, my grandpa did. He was like 50 and he died in his sleep because of that. Okay, so God wants us to keep our body healthy with proper nutrition, proper water, our water intake, okay, and keeping bad things out that will interfere with this system, okay, such as alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, okay. Those kinds of things will interfere with our system of cleaning our body, our blood, and getting rid of all the waste in our body. And if you overload your system, like my grandfather did with his liver, then you can have issues that can end up in your death. Okay? So, on that happy note, but look how God made our body so cool, that he knew these things would happen as waste products, and he developed an entire system to just get rid of the waste junk in our body. Okay? Our responsibility is to keep our body healthy and to treat it like the temple God created it as. Okay, so that is everything I have for today, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.